Okay.
What's up, everybody? This is your boy, Chris Sims, co-host of the Praise Radio Show. I have the pleasure of speaking with the one and only Coche.
Oh man.
Anthony, right? Orville Anthony.
Yes.
Right.
Orville Anthony Wright. Yes, sir.
Right. Yeah, but we know him as Coche. Right? Did I say
Right.
Coche?
You're actually making it sound a little more fancy, so it's actually Coche.
Okay.
But that's all right. That's all right. I get all these cool variations. Coche, Couchy, Koch. It's Coche's fine. Come on, it's Coche.
How you doing today, man?
I'm good. I'm all is well. I'm all right. You know, safe and sound. Can't complain. God is good.
Good. Amen. Gotta ask that question, you know. Everybody, you know.
Definitely. True. It could be definitely other circumstances, you know. So yeah.
So tell us a little bit about Coche, Mr. Orville Anthony Wright. Let us know who you are, you know, what you do, what you're about.
Well, everybody knows me as a photographer and a videographer. I've been doing it for, I'd say, almost 15 years now. I am also a musician and a youth minister at my church. So when I'm not doing ministry work, Coche Productions pretty much takes up the rest of my time with photography and video and music. So I do producing as well too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wonder how many people know that about you, because I've known that about you for a while, and I was surprised when I found that out, that you're actually that you're a musician. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And
I've been doing music before I even started doing photography and video. I grew up in music. Yeah, being in church for all my life. You know, as a preacher's kid, you pretty much get mandated to learn to play music. You know, you have to pick up at least one or two instruments, and I ended up starting playing guitar, bass, drum, keyboard, saxophone. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I'm a pastor's kid too, so I know all about that.
See, there we go. Mm-hmm.
I started out with playing the drums, but actually playing percussion, playing congas and bongos and timbales. Started out there, and I progressed to the drums full set, and then I started singing. So yeah,
wow.
So I understand that.
Definitely, yeah.
Do you think there's any correlation between the two, photography and music?
You know, in the terms that photography is art, music is also art. You know, you can be taught how to play music, just like you could probably be taught to just pick up a brush and do brush strokes. But I feel like you have to have a gift, you know, to begin with. You know, yes, some people just pick it up and they develop into something great, but there's just something with it being, I think some type of art form being within you that, like, I can't read notes, but yet you can sing a melody, I can pick it up instantly. You know, so I feel like some people just kind of have a gift, and it's an art form. So there's definitely a correlation between the two. You know, definitely.
When did you realize you had to get
music or photography or both?
Yeah.
You know, when you're younger and you start playing music, well, for me personally, it was more like it was forced upon you. So whether I liked it or not, I was gonna get good at it or not. I mean, I didn't have a choice. I had to get good at it.
Right.
So I like you, I started off on the drums first. And I mean, we were playing at different churches and concerts and revivals, and you know, everybody kind of knew me and my sister as singers and / musicians and stuff like that. So you know, when you're younger, you don't really think of it as a gift. But as you get older, and you know, I started to teach a few people, and you know, some people progress more than some, and you realize, again, going back to that, some people are kind of gifted with that musical ear, and some is just a little hard to grasp. For me, it was just like, you know, just picking up any instrument, well, not any instrument, but you know, the main instruments and just picking up, and I could just play something on the keys and not knowing what I was really doing, and just hearing other musicians or organists or pianists and just being able to mimic and copy chords and things like that without really even realizing, oh snap, that sounds good, this goes with this and this can work with that. And it wasn't until other people were seeing it in me, it was just like, listen, you have a gift. And I'm like, okay, wow, I never thought of it like that, and then slowly but surely you start to build that confidence in yourself and you realize, okay, wait, maybe these people are onto something, maybe I do have a gift. Then the same thing with photography. It was just a hobby. Picked up, I got a camera from my mom, and just taking pictures just for fun, just snapping any and everything. And started doing gigs for close friends and church family, and people were just saying, listen, you should probably think about this maybe as a side hustle or a side gig. You're actually really good. And I'm like, there's always somebody better out there. And then it just started to progress and progress and progress and progress to where we are now. Coche Productions. We have our studio for like 6 years now. Yeah.
Because you're like really well known. Like you're
well, listen. No, I'm kidding. I think your work speaks for yourself. Once you give people a good product, they'll be more than happy to share that information and share that news. So, again, being within the church community, I would do work for one church and they say, listen, I know a guy, he's pretty good, he's reasonable, and his work is really good. And literally it's like kind of like, small little brushel fire, and it just kind of expands. Other people starting telling other people about the service. And it's like, and then personality also goes a long way too, because you can have all the talent in the world, but if you're rude and obnoxious or cocky, people don't want to work with you. So I usually sometimes get, man, there's a different demeanor about you, or there's a different spirit about you. And I think that helps build a connection more with clients and drive them, whether they're safe or unsafe, to share that information with others.
Definitely. I've said this several times before. One of my mentors taught me that your gift can get you in the building, but it's your character that will keep you in the building.
Oh yes, that is true. That is certainly true. I've heard that before too. Definitely, that's true.
You definitely have a great character and you do great work, which is
thank you. I appreciate that. I try.
So, I have a friend, and I believe you have his picture up in your studio.
Okay.
Wife, Pastor Matthew Green.
Oh yes, definitely.
And
yeah, man.
It was featured in a very prominent magazine.
Prominent magazine, yes, sir. They were in the 2013 edition of Jet magazine.
Nice.
And I didn't even know that our photography would have been featured in that. He let me know that way after I had finished their wedding package and stuff like that. He was like, I'm trying to remember the details, but he just told me that it was going to happen. I was just like, listen, sir, you better get me a couple of copies of those so I can frame it. Yeah. So yeah, it wasn't like I was going into shooting their wedding and thinking, listen, I'm going to do a good job on this because it's going to be in a magazine.
Right.
Just literally just keep my stuff consistent. And this, yeah.
Wow. Have you
made that happen? That was good. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You had any more stories like that? I was going to say successes, but like you do such consistent work, because like when you finish the work, it is success. So.
Well, I've had a few features in some online only magazines. Honestly, to tell you the truth, off the top of my head, I can't really remember the ones all of them, but one in particular. We've had one of our images featured in Essence magazine. It was for a singer that comes out of Connecticut. And we did a photo shoot for her, and her story was featured in Essence, and our images were the images that she chose for the feature. So that was pretty cool. It was on their website, and I believe in their magazine as well. Yeah.
That is awesome, man. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, man.
What, like, I know you shoot people. Do you have any other like subjects that you shoot that like you enjoy shooting?
When you say something like other like maybe like street photography or stuff like that, or
Yeah.
oh, to tell you the truth, I at one point was obsessed with taking photos of the moon,
Hmm.
different phases of the moon and stuff like that, and landscape photography. Like I would literally drive out to different various places and just find, really peaceful spots just to take still shots of. Of course, every photographer, when they first get a camera, the first thing they start taking pictures of is flowers. So that too, and going to the local zoos and taking pictures of animals and stuff like that. So I actually like that stuff too. Whenever I have downtime, which is very little, or I really just say I'm gonna just take a day and just chill. Maybe just take a trip to the zoo or take a trip, to a park and just capture stuff, or just go to the city and just capture, random things. And also we have drones too, so I like to do a lot of drone photography and video too. Yeah, yeah.
What
Mhm.
what does I know you said earlier that it started out as a hobby.
Mhm.
But what does photography mean to you?
I mean, for us now, specifically, it's capturing memories.
Mm,
For clients, we like to capture, or I like to tell stories with photography, and just capturing that moment to so that when a client can look back at it, whether it be a year, 2 years, 5 years from now,
mm,
it'll still feel timeless,
mm,
and they can just look at the image and feel the happiness or feel whatever emotion that we captured by just looking at that one particular frame. um it's all about the memories though, for sure, and also making people feel good. Like, I have clients that, once we do the professional photo shoot, sometimes they go in with the mindset, oh, I'm probably not going to like it, it's probably not going to come out really nice, but when they see the finished product, they are amazed, and most of the times they come back for more sessions. So that's enjoyable for me, the their reactions to the finished product. And sometimes certain clients have self-esteem issues, and they come on in, and first time being in front of a professional camera, and they kind of use this. I actually had one particular client who told me it was like an emotional, um what was the word she used? It was more like something just to kind of build herself up, her confidence. The photo
mm,
shoot was specifically just for a confidence builder, just to make herself feel good. And after the session was done, she definitely did. Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
amazing.
So
Amazing, yeah.
yeah.
What makes what makes a good picture, good photo stand out from an average photo?
One more time. I'm sorry.
What makes a good photo stand out from an average photo? Everybody has cameras now on their phones, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. True. 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 That is true. Well, it all depends. It depends on a lot of things. Of course, you can have $1 billion camera and you can have an iPhone. It depends on how you use it. It
Mm,
depends on angles, lighting, the composition.
mm,
What's the photo about? What's the story? The photo is telling.
mm,
Um, how you use your equipment, how you use your lighting, how to use your angles. Like I said, I mean, my primary camera that I shoot with is a Canon 1DX Mark II.
mm,
That is on average a 4,500 to $6,000 camera, but I can do the same shot on a Canon 7D, which maybe goes for like $300-400 now, and can kind of get the same results in a sense, depending on angles, lighting, and the composition.
right.
Um, so it all depends on the user and what the look that they're going for
Mm,
in the camera, or with the camera. Yeah.
good. So what inspires you? Because you've done more than just become a photographer. You've created a brand. Coche Productions is more than just you don't just see it as a photographer. We see like this grand production. Now you're into music production as well. So what
Right.
inspires you?
Um, for me, well, first and foremost, it's fun. It continues to be fun. And again, the satisfaction of a client that can reach out and I know that I can give 100, 150% of myself into whatever specific project I'm doing.
Mhm.
And for their reactions to always be consistently, wow, this is
Mhm.
cool. This is great. This is awesome. I love it. I'm going to tell somebody about you. That's what drives me. I like to also always step it up a notch with
Mhm.
each job I do, or if I do a shoot for you last year and we doing the shoot next year, you best believe that that next shoot is going to be way better than the last one. Because I'm always constantly upgrading equipment as well, just so I can give a better quality product to the client too. A lot of people don't usually see the upgrades, but maybe they may see it in the final product of the photography or the music or the production. But most of the time they don't see a $500 wire upgrade or a $1,000 light upgrade. They just see the quality.
Yeah.
So yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, do you have any influences, are there any other photographers, musicians that you were influenced from?
That I was influenced from, you said?
Yes, that you draw
Oh,
influence from.
um, so one photographer in particular, there's a photographer called Peter Hurler. He's located in the city, and he's called like literally just a headshot photographer. And when I saw what he could do with lighting and his camera, I was just like, oh man, I mimicked every one of his styles, his setups, even down to the computers he used, lenses, everything. And I kind of, and I mean, there's other photographers, to tell you the truth, I don't really know most of their names, or remember them, but just, you just come across something on Instagram and Facebook and you just kind of start following. And you just look at the style and the technique. And interesting enough, as you progress in your field, in particular photography field, I'm able to see, I can look at a photo now, like a billboard and stuff like that, and just see, wow, I can see the lighting style based off the catch light, stuff like that. So you kind of pick up little tips and tricks from everybody, and then you start to incorporate it with your own things that you've learned, and you fuse it, and kind
Right.
of go from there. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, does is there any kind of post processing that goes on with photography on general in general?
Um, well, specifically for studio shoots, I get clients that tell me, listen, write out the camera and just transferring it directly to their, sometimes their cell phones are um, digital cloud mediums, and they download it to their phones and tablets. They're just like, yo, this don't even need editing. This is good.
Wow.
In my head, I know, listen, if I retouch this, you're gonna love it even more. But I get clients who don't even come back for the retouching. They just stick with the raw and they good.
Wow.
But I use Photoshop to do my editing. I don't use Lightroom. I know a lot of and each your own. I'm not a Lightroom guy. I only use Lightroom when we're shooting, just to view the images as we're shooting. I do no edits in Lightroom. Everything is done in Photoshop. Yeah.
I have a couple of friends who are photographers, or young photographers. They're coming up. What kind of inspiration or advice would you give to these up and coming
Um, I would say if you have a passion for it, just keep going. Keep going. Don't let nobody try to tell you otherwise. Oh, there's no money in it. There's always somebody better than you. Don't worry about anyone else. Worry about honing your own craft. Um, where I'm at, and I don't even feel like I'm, so funny. I don't really feel like I'm anywhere, but people from the outside will look and say, nah, man, you're established, or you're this, or you're that. I'm thinking to myself, listen, I'm just trying and just still trying to progress.
photography?
So, and that's always been my mindset, just continue to progress. I don't feel like I've arrived. And you can't get to a place, I mean, you can't think that, or get to a place of complacency once you learn a few things and say, yeah, I'm arrived, I'm done. It's
Mm.
an ever learning process. So there's always something new to learn. There's always a new technique to learn. There's always going to be a new camera to learn about, or a new lens to figure out how to use, a new lighting setup, you know. But just try to continue to gain more knowledge and progress your craft. Practice makes perfect. We've heard that all our lives. Um, I didn't just pick up a camera overnight and just got to this level. It took me almost 15 years to get where I'm at. But it may take somebody with, you know, a faster way of processing information to probably pick it up in 2-3 years and be at the level I'm at. But most of the stuff I kind of learned from scratch and just picking things up here and there. YouTube now, everything's on YouTube.
Right.
Back when I first started, I had, you know, you had to read the magazines and just decipher things and take things from here and there and say, I want to try this when I can eventually afford to get a camera or that I want, or a lens that I want. But now everything's on YouTube, you know, and they kind of spell it out for you, ABC 1, 2, 3, you know. So there's so much knowledge out there that you can gain just from taking the time to, you know, do the research and hone your craft. Yeah. If you're, you know, if you can afford to invest in better equipment, you know, you do a small job, you know, of course people got to pay their bills, but I mean, just put a little aside and try to upgrade so you can get better equipment to get better quality.
Right.
You know?
I
Yeah.
know you're a busy man. I'm gonna let you go soon. But,
Oh man.
no,
Yeah, speaking of which, I'm in the middle of a session right
oh
now.
no. Okay, I'm gonna hurry up. One more question,
Yeah.
I promise. So I know you're a married man. You have children too, right?
Yes, sir.
And so
Yeah.
tell us the importance of having a supportive spouse and supportive family behind when you're
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, definitely. It's great to have family involved in a business. Well, for us, my wife, she does have a full-time job otherwise, but she does assist Coche Productions as much as she can. Sometimes when I have really big jobs, she comes on board and she helps me out as well. And you know, sometimes I have my daughter here. She's 7, and you know, she'll help me to do little things. And my son, whenever he's here, he'll help me to do little things too. But I try not to put a strain on them because I know school is priority.
right.
And my wife, she has her other job, like I said, so I don't try to put any strain on them. So I do have a few people that we've, you know, I've taken under my wing, you know, some guys from our church who are also into media, and I've helped them to also progress in the love for photography and video, teach them things that I know. And so when they're shooting like how I shoot, you know. But going back to family, you know, they're very supportive, and it's great to have a balance between um, work and, you know, family. Being that I'm an entrepreneur, you know, I kind of have to spend a lot more hours than probably an average person would spend. Because, you know, if you have a specific 9 to 5 job, you clock in, you do your time, you clock out. For me now, cost reductions is almost like 24/7. You know, once the office hours were open to close, I'm still here wee hours of sometimes at night. Sometimes I'm going home when the sun is rising, trying to finish a project, you know. So it's something, it can get tough, but you know, you just try to find that medium and try to find the balance in between the two, you know. But it's good to have a strong, supportive, you know, family to help you and just kind of keep you balanced, you know. Yeah.
Good stuff, man. That's good stuff.
Mhm.
Listen, I appreciate you taking the
Yeah.
time to speak with me today.
No, thank you for having me, man. This is
My
great.
my pleasure. This has been awesome. Just tell the people where they can find you and find your studio, and let us know.
Sure. Okay, so our studio is located 3052 East Chester Road between Hammersley and AT Avenue. That's right here in the Boogie Down Bronx. If you want to book, if you want to book a photo shoot, whether in studio, right now we have a lot of different packages on our website. The website is www.couchyproductions.com. If you can't figure that out, just Google Coche Productions. It'll come up. Usually, we're the first thing that comes up when you put in Coche Productions. You can also find us via our Instagram or Facebook page. Instagram, it's either C0, the number 0, CHE, or Coche Productions. Facebook, it's my name, Orville Anthony Wright Jr., or Coche Productions. And my cell phone number is 646-645-8030. If you have any questions, you can call me, text me. But yeah, those are the mediums you can get in touch with us, and we can get some work done.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you again.
Thank you.
With us.
Definitely.
Finish up that session. And
all right.
Yeah. We'll be in touch, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
All right. Everybody.
All right.
Coche Productions. Check them out.
Yes, sir. Right. Yes, sir. All right. Have a blessed day, man. God bless. Okay.